The crimson veil. The sky above New York cracked with a soundless shiver. It wasn't thunder, though storm clouds churned unnaturally. It wasn't planes, though streaks of light carved trails across the heavens. The air itself seemed to bend, folding around shapes too large to comprehend. Scarlet Witch, Wanda Maximoff, stood on the balcony of the Avengers compound, her crimson energy curling around her hands like restless smoke. She didn't need her eyes to know something had arrived. She felt it. A cold, invasive whisper slithered into her mind. A voice that wasn't hers. Submit. Belong. Serve the Dominion. Wanda staggered, gripping the railing. No, not again. The invasion begins. Downtown Manhattan erupted in chaos. Towering vessels descended through the clouds, shaped like elongated spires of black glass, each bristling with veins of green light. They made no sound, yet the ground quivered as they hovered above the skyline. Then, without warning, beams of light fell from the ships onto crowded streets. Civilians froze mid-stride. Eyes glazed, their movements went rigid. In moments, entire blocks of people turned toward the sky, their faces blank, their minds enslaved. Wanda's heart clenched. This wasn't brute force, it was domination. Mind control. The Zaltherian Dominion, she whispered, memories flooding from fragments she'd seen in ancient Sokovian texts. An alien empire that conquered without armies. They didn't destroy worlds. They absorbed them. And now they were here. The Queen's whisper. A projection flickered above Times Square. A tall, slender figure cloaked in liquid silver appeared, her 4 eyes glowing emerald. She was beautiful in a way that hurt to look at, like symmetry sharpened to a blade. Her voice slipped into every mind, carried not by sound but by thought. I am Sythera the Mindshaper, sovereign of the Dominion. This world belongs to me. Your will is mine to command. Resist, and you will drown in your own thoughts. Even from miles away, Wanda felt the pressure, a mental weight pushing against her mind. It clawed at her memories, searching for weaknesses. She screamed, releasing a burst of crimson chaos energy that shattered the balcony railing. The whispers retreated, but only for her. The city below continued to bow. The first stand. Wanda flew into the heart of Manhattan, her scarlet energy trailing behind her like the tail of a comet. She landed in the middle of Fifth Avenue, where hundreds of civilians marched in eerie silence toward a glowing spire. "Stop!" she cried, pushing her magic outward in a wide wave. Red tendrils wrapped around the crowd, halting their march without harming them. She tried to hold them steady, but their blank eyes turned to her in unison. "Serve," they intoned, voices hollow. Her chest tightened. They weren't people anymore. They were puppets. Above her, a squad of Dominion sentinels descended. They were armored figures with translucent skull-like helmets, each pulsing with green psychic energy. Their weapons weren't guns but crystalline rods that emitted waves of mental force. The leader pointed at her. "The witch resists. Break her mind." A wave of psychic energy slammed into her. Wanda screamed, her chaos magic flaring instinctively. She twisted it, shaping the blast into a shield. The air warped crimson, the psychic wave rebounded, and one sentinel shattered into sparks of green light. Wanda's eyes blazed. "You don't get to touch my mind." She raised her hands, and scarlet constructs burst forth, jagged tendrils that grabbed sentinels mid-flight and smashed them into the pavement. Energy clashed, painting the avenue in red and green. Still, more ships descended. More civilians fell under Sythera's spell. The crack in Wanda's mind. For every sentinel Wanda destroyed, more appeared. Her magic lashed in every direction, but she was only one against an endless tide. Her energy wavered as the Dominion pressed harder into her mind. The whispers returned, louder now, filling her skull. "Your children never existed. Your grief is your prison. Let me free you." Serve me, and the pain ends. Her knees buckled. Memories of Billy and Tommy flashed before her eyes. Their laughter, their voices, their vanishing into nothing. Her chaos magic sputtered, crimson turning erratic and unstable. "No, you're not real," she gasped, clutching her head. "You can't have me." The Dominion's psychic grip tightened. Her vision blurred. She was seconds from collapse. Then a new sound cut through the storm. Blaster fire. The Guardians arrive. A streak of plasma fire ripped through the nearest sentinel. A beat-up Milano ship swooped low over Manhattan, its engines roaring defiantly. From the cockpit, Star-Lord's voice echoed through the city. "Hey, Chrome Dome brainsuckers! New York's off-limits. Also, your ships? 0 style points." Rocket Raccoon perched on the wing, firing a massive custom-built cannon that blasted green energy into dust. "Finally. A fight where I don't have to explain myself. Just point and shoot." The Milano landed hard in Bryant Park. Groot leapt from the ramp, slamming his wooden limbs into the pavement, creating barriers to protect fleeing civilians. Wanda staggered back, crimson energy dimming around her. She blinked at the unexpected sight. You shouldn't be here. This isn't your fight." Star-Lord smirked, flipping his blasters. "Lady, if it's happening on Earth, it's everyone's fight. Besides, Rocket wouldn't shut up about blasting aliens again." Rocket grinned, teeth bared. "You're welcome." The Crimson Veil. Sythera's voice filled the city once more, sharper now, dripping with malice. "Ah, the Guardians. Cosmic vagabonds clinging to defiance. You will kneel beside the witch, your wills broken, your minds hollowed." Scarlet Witch rose shakily, her aura burning crimson once again. She looked at the Guardians, then at the mind-controlled masses still trudging toward the alien spires. Her voice hardened. "Not while I'm breathing." Her chaos magic erupted, stretching across the battlefield. She wove it into a barrier that shimmered like scarlet glass, blocking the psychic waves washing down from the ships. Civilians stumbled, their blank eyes flickering with confusion as Sythera's hold weakened. The Crimson Veil was born, a shield of chaos magic against the Dominion's control. Wanda's hands trembled under the strain. "I can hold them back, but not forever." Star-Lord glanced at the glowing barrier with raised brows. "Well, that's new. And terrifying. But mostly terrifying." Rocket growled, reloading his cannon. "Then we buy her time. Let's show this brain-sucking queen what Earth's got." The gathering storm. High above, Sythera's projection shifted. Her once perfect smile twisted into a sneer. "Very well. If magic resists me, then magic will burn. Scarlet Witch, your mind will be the first I consume." The alien queen raised her hands. A surge of green light shot down from her warship, aiming straight for Wanda. Wanda braced herself, crimson energy crackling wildly. Behind her, the Guardians readied for the onslaught. The battle for Earth had begun, and Wanda knew one thing with certainty. If she fell, so would the world. Mind against magic. The night sky over Manhattan glowed sickly green. Alien warships pulsed with energy, their psychic tendrils spreading like invisible chains across the city. Beneath the protective shimmer of the Crimson Veil, Wanda Maximoff knelt, her hands raised, pouring every ounce of her magic into keeping Sythera's domination at bay. Her temples throbbed. Holding back the Dominion's power was like holding back the ocean with her bare hands. Rocket barked as his plasma cannon thundered. "You gonna hold that shield up forever, Red? Or should we start planning our funerals?" Wanda's eyes flared scarlet, strands of hair sticking to her sweat-drenched face. "I'm holding it as long as I have to." "You just," she gritted her teeth as another psychic wave hammered against her mind, "make sure it's worth it." The alien queen descends. From the largest warship, a figure floated downward, cloaked in silver light. Sythera the Mindshaper finally revealed herself, her 4 emerald eyes glowing brighter than the city's neon skyline. Her presence pressed on every soul like a physical weight. "Impressive," she purred, her voice reverberating inside their skulls rather than their ears. "A mortal witch who bends chaos itself. Your mind is strong, but it is fractured. I can feel the breaks, the grief, the scars. All I must do is press, and you will shatter." Scarlet Witch rose into the air, chaos energy spiraling from her hands like living fire. "You don't get to touch my mind. Not again." Sythera smiled, raising her hands. Green psychic fire burst outward, colliding with Wanda's scarlet aura in a clash that shook the streets. Windows shattered for blocks, cars flipped from the shockwave, and civilians screamed as rubble rained down. Guardians in the crossfire. "All right, magic duel of the century up there," Star-Lord muttered, ducking behind a half-melted taxi. "Meanwhile, we're stuck with the alien fan club." As if on cue, dozens of Dominion sentinels landed, their crystalline rods glowing. The enslaved civilians they'd controlled moments ago began to stir again, caught in the chaos. "Groot!" Rocket shouted. "I am Groot!" The tree warrior slammed his limbs into the pavement, roots bursting upward to create barriers that sheltered the civilians. Rocket leapt onto Groot's shoulder, unleashing a relentless barrage of cannon fire at the sentinels. Star-Lord charged forward, spinning, both blasters firing blue plasma into the swarm. "We've got this. Just don't think about how outnumbered we are." Groot roared in reply, wrapping 3 sentinels in his vines before smashing them into the ground like ragdolls. The psychic duel. Above the chaos, Wanda and Sythera's battle escalated into something beyond physical sight. Their powers collided not only in the air but in the mind. Wanda's vision blurred. One moment she was floating above Manhattan, the next she was standing in a black void, endless and cold. Sythera was there too, towering, her eyes gleaming like suns. "You can't win," Sythera whispered, her voice echoing 1,000 times. "Your mind is already broken. Children who never lived. A family ripped away. Your own guilt choking you like chains. I can end your suffering. Serve me." Images ripped through Wanda's mind. Billy and Tommy running in the yard, Vision smiling at her, the collapse of Westview. Her knees buckled. "No," she clutched her head. "They were real. They were mine." Sythera's form expanded, a monstrous silhouette towering in the void. "They were illusions. You are nothing but pain wrapped in chaos." Wanda screamed, unleashing a blast of red light that tore through the void. Sythera stumbled back, her grin faltering. "They were real to me," Wanda growled. "And that's enough." Sythera's trap. In the real world, the sky turned into a storm of red and green energy. Wanda and Sythera hurled power at each other like titans, chaos magic against psychic fire. But Sythera changed tactics. Her green aura spread outward, slipping past Wanda's shield. Civilians convulsed, screaming as Sythera's control surged. Even Groot stumbled, vines twitching unnaturally before he roared in defiance. Rocket cursed. "She's mind-jacking Groot. Witchy, do something." Wanda's concentration shattered for a heartbeat, and Sythera struck. A psychic spear pierced through Wanda's aura, slamming into her mind. Wanda's scream echoed through the city. She plummeted toward the ground, barely catching herself with a burst of chaos magic before hitting the pavement. Sythera floated above, triumphant. So fragile. So human. The turning point. Star-Lord sprinted toward Wanda, dodging sentinel fire. "Hey, Witch, you still with us?" Her eyes flickered open, glowing faintly scarlet. "I can't hold her." Star-Lord crouched beside her, blasters firing over his shoulder. "Listen, you don't have to hold her alone. You've got us. And we don't quit. Not against gods, not against aliens, not against impossible odds. We fight. That's what humans do. His words pierced through the fog in her mind. Not magic, not psychic strength, just stubborn, human defiance. Wanda drew a deep breath. Her chaos magic steadied, forming delicate runes in the air. Then let's fight. Chaos reforged. She rose once more, crimson fire blazing brighter than ever. This time, she didn't just block Sythera's psychic waves, she reshaped them, twisting them into chaos energy and hurling them back. Sythera snarled as her own power struck her, green flames tearing across her silver cloak. "You dare use my own mind against me?" she screeched. Wanda's eyes blazed like twin suns. "It's not just your mind anymore. It's mine." She wove her hands in intricate motions, chaos tendrils lashing out and wrapping around Sythera, binding her mid-air. The alien queen struggled, her psychic might roaring, but the bindings only grew tighter. On the ground, Rocket hooped, firing a rocket straight into a sentinel. "Now that's what I'm talking about." Star-Lord grinned. "Guess the witch isn't so fragile after all." The retreat. But just as Wanda prepared to unleash her finishing blow, Sythera's warship pulsed. A green beam enveloped the queen, pulling her back into the ship. Her laughter echoed through the city as she vanished. "This is only the beginning. Next time, witch, I take not just your mind, but your soul." The Dominion ships began to retreat, their spires folding into the night sky, vanishing into the clouds. Wanda collapsed to her knees, the crimson veil flickering out. Sweat streaked her face, and her breath came in ragged gasps. The Guardians gathered around her. Rocket slung his cannon over his shoulder. "Well, that sucked. But hey, we're still alive." Star-Lord offered Wanda a hand. "Looks like we're officially on Team Save Earth." "And you? You're the MVP." Wanda stared at the sky, where Sythera's ships had disappeared. She could still feel the Queen's presence, a cold shadow pressing against her thoughts. "This isn't over," Wanda said softly, crimson light sparking faintly in her palm. "The real war hasn't even begun." The Last Incantation. The world slept uneasily after the Dominion's retreat. For 3 nights, the skies above Earth remained quiet, but Wanda Maximoff knew silence meant nothing. In her dreams, Sythera's voice still whispered, promising ruin, promising chains. On the 4th night, the sky burned. The siege of Wakanda. The Dominion didn't return to New York. Their ships emerged above Wakanda, their spires blotting out the moonlight. From the largest vessel, beams of emerald energy hammered the golden dome that shielded the nation. The shield groaned, glowing brighter, but cracks spidered across its surface. Inside, the Guardians and Scarlet Witch stood among Wakanda's warriors, watching the sky. Shuri monitored the shield's status, her face grim. "They've multiplied. 3 times the ships we saw in New York," she said. "We can't hold forever." Rocket growled. "Figures. Alien brainsuckers don't know when to quit." Wanda stepped forward, her crimson aura flickering. Her eyes never left the sky. "She's here. Sythera." The Queen's gambit. The air split, and Sythera descended like a falling star. Her silver cloak shimmered, her 4 eyes blazing brighter than the sun. Her voice carried across Wakanda without sound. "This world defies me. Its people resist. But tonight, your minds are mine." She extended her hands. A psychic wave surged across the land. Warriors collapsed, clutching their heads as their wills buckled. Some rose again, eyes glowing green, their bodies no longer their own. Shuri gasped as her soldiers turned on each other. "She's controlling them." Star-Lord spun his blasters, forcing a smirk. "Mind-controlled armies. Classic alien move." Rocket bared his teeth. "Then we fight dirtier." The Guardians stand. The battlefield exploded into chaos. Wakandan warriors clashed with their own brothers, their spears clashing against corrupted hands. Groot roared, his limbs expanding into a massive shield wall that blocked the enslaved from charging further. "I am Groot." Rocket perched on his shoulder, unleashing a barrage of rockets that sent Dominion sentinels crashing from the skies. Star-Lord sprinted through the fray, dual blasters glowing. "Cover the witch. If she drops, we're all done." But Wanda wasn't moving. She stood in the center of the battlefield, eyes closed, chaos magic spiraling around her in violent arcs. Her mind stretched into the psychic storm, meeting Sythera head-on. The duel of wills. Once again, Wanda found herself in Sythera's void, but this time the alien queen was no longer calm. Her features twisted, monstrous, her voice a thunderclap. "You resist again. Why? What have these fragile humans ever given you but grief?" The void trembled as Sythera pressed her will into Wanda's mind. Pain stabbed behind Wanda's eyes. Her knees nearly buckled. But this time, she didn't falter. "They gave me hope," Wanda whispered. Her chaos magic ignited, painting the void crimson. "And hope is stronger than you," Sythera shrieked, her 4 eyes blazing. Psychic tendrils lashed out, stabbing into Wanda's memories. She relived the loss of vision, the death of Pietro, the fading laughter of her sons. Each pain was a blade, cutting deeper. But Wanda gritted her teeth, clutching the fragments of those memories like weapons. "You think pain makes me weak? It makes me stronger." The Last Incantation. In the real world, Wanda's body lifted from the ground, chaos magic spiraling outward in massive waves. The air itself shook. Rocket shielded his face. Guys? Is this supposed to look like the end of the world?" Star-Lord squinted, awed despite himself. "Nah. That's what it looks like when someone decides to end the enemy." Scarlet Witch raised her hands, and ancient words spilled from her lips, words not spoken in centuries, a spell woven from chaos itself. Runes blazed around her in fiery crimson circles. Sythera's laughter faltered. "What are you doing?" "The Last Incantation," Wanda said, her voice echoing across realms. The crimson veil reappeared, but this time it wasn't a shield. It expanded outward, wrapping around every soldier, every sentinel, even Sythera herself. Scarlet threads wove into the alien queen's aura, unraveling her psychic control. Wakandan warriors gasped as their eyes cleared. The enslaved dropped their weapons, free once more. Sythera screamed, her psychic grip crumbling. "No. My mind is eternal. You cannot." Wanda's eyes blazed. "Your mind is your prison." She snapped her hands together. The crimson veil collapsed inward, shattering Sythera's psychic form. The queen's silver cloak disintegrated, her body imploding into shards of green light that scattered into the night sky. Aftermath. Silence fell over Wakanda. The Dominion ships, their queen gone, faltered. Without her control, they drifted aimlessly, then detonated in bursts of green fire, raining harmless debris. The battlefield was still. Smoke rose from the grasslands, and freed warriors groaned as they stood. Rocket holstered his cannon. "Well, that was messy. But hey, we won." Star-Lord leaned on his blasters, catching his breath. "Yeah, but let's not do that again any time soon." Groot bent down beside Wanda, who floated gently to the ground, her body drained, her aura gone. "I am Groot." She smiled faintly, exhaustion pulling her down. "I'll be okay. We all will." Shuri approached, bowing her head. "Wakanda owes you a debt. The world does." Wanda shook her head. "No debt. Just a chance to breathe again." Epilogue. That night, Wanda stood alone at the edge of Wakanda, looking up at the stars. She could still feel Sythera's shadow lingering faintly, a whisper at the edges of her mind. But the queen was gone, destroyed by her own arrogance and Wanda's will. The Guardians approached, standing quietly beside her. Star-Lord broke the silence first. "So, what now?" Wanda exhaled, her crimson eyes fading to their human hue. "Now? We wait. The Dominion won't forget this. And neither will I." Rocket smirked, climbing onto Groot's shoulder. "Then we'll be ready. Next time, we'll bring bigger guns." Wanda's lips curved into the faintest of smiles. "Next time, I'll bring bigger magic." Above them, the stars shimmered, silent, vast, and waiting. The battle was over, but the war for Earth's future had only just begun.